pound bag.
Okay.
Sugar will not go bad. I keep mine
And
down
you guys you do 1-to-1, right?
1-to-1. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I was watching
Queen cage set. I'm sorry.
David Burns, and he adds some supplements to the 1-to-1.
I added. I had peppermint oil, food grade peppermint oil, and lemon. It seemed to make a difference at one time, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So glad the sun came out, though. Wow.
Where are you going to stand?
I will stand,
Behind?
Yeah, I'll stand right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that worked out great.
You know, I also saw, as long as I'm here, I'm asking you as many questions.
Sure.
You know, I saw one video where the woman was installing a package and she put it, her beehives are just sitting on the ground. Why would you do that?
Some people, it's like this. Why would, Kathy Grande, it's Chet. Kathy Grande prefers to set the whole box down in there and then come back. I'm not going to question anybody who wants to do it.
Oh, the whole hive is on the ground.
Instead of on a stand.
Don't know.
Yeah,
there's no ground protection to the hive box at all.
Those aren't going to last very long, right?
Yeah, it's not going to last very long at all.
Everybody seems to do it a little different.
Right?
Yeah, that's what Charlie was saying. Don't watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, do what works for you, and I've gone over and done many of these.
Mm-hmm.
So I've installed for Andy, and he's my mentor. Mm-hmm. And so what Andy does is, I believe, is the correct and efficient way. Now, Andy has a lot of Andy Hemken from the Hemken Honey place. He's a commercial beekeeper, so he's got hundreds of hives. He don't have time to do a lot of stuff that we're going to do here. So let's get it done. I'm in a business. I got a lot of things I got to get done today. So
farmers, they're bee farmers. Yeah.
Yes.
I only have an 8 frame. Mine's an 8. And so it doesn't matter. I mean, the hives, all my hives are all built out. I mean, my frames are all built out. Mm-hmm. I tended not to use the ones that were brown. Does that matter?
Nope.
I mean, in the bottom box?
How I do this is, for the sake of the camera, the sun is right there, so I'm going to look through there. If I can see light through there, kind of like a filter in your stove or your furnace, or a vacuum cleaner, if you can see light through it, it's still good.
Okay.
That's my way of telling, instead of trying to guess. Some of these cells are getting a little thicker on the walls.
And you leave them with honey in there as well?
Yes, I will leave the honey in there.
Okay.
And
Should I put some frames with honey? I have lots.
Yes.
Okay.
You watch this.
I'm on the outside.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
all
So
honey.
you're putting that
on
in
the outside.
Okay.
Generally, the last place they would fill.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And the same on this side. Now this one's a little light, but you can see there's sugar, how it's white.
Yep.
That's sugar. That's from feeding them this last fall.
Okay.
So you just keep reusing that. And then if you have the chance, always put a couple of
mine are,
I always put 2 or 3 of them in there just so I have something that they can build on.
So mine are all built out. Is that a problem?
Nope.
In the beginning, they're looking for something to do, and they'll build wax. So if you have some, that'll keep them busy. If you have some foundation like that.
Okay. And are you opening 3-inch on the bottom or just the one?
Just the one.
Okay.
These don't fit perfectly, so you can do it like that.
Okay.
I make a lot of my own stuff, so everything's not like it's in a
That's why it's flopping
Can you
around.
put a spacer on the bottom?
So that is this.
Slatted board.
How come?
Gives them more room from here to the bottom.
Okay.
If I just set this box on here, they only have 1 inch.
Okay.
If I set it on the slated board, it's 2 inches.
Okay.
And it gives them a little bit more room for ventilation.
Okay.
They say it helps with swarm control.
Okay.
Because again, they have more room.
space. They don't feel so crowded.
And then these frames keep them from building any comb lower than that, attaching it to the bottom board. And she will use more of the frame.
Do you sell those?
Yes. So these, see how dark this is down here?
Yeah.
That means that she laid brood all the way down here. See how it's not here? That's all honey from a rainbow. They'll put food, pollen for the baby bees here. But down here, she won't lay if you don't have that spacer for it. She might not lay down here.
Okay.
So it gives her a few more hundred cells to use.
Okay.
Is it perfect? I'm not saying it's perfect, but it does work. Here's a good example here. She used all of it. Look how dark this is. She used all of these down
Okay.
here.
The brown indicates where
Yeah.
there was brood. They
Right.
built a cocoon.
See, I didn't put any of the brown ones because I thought it was.
It just means that's where brood was.
Okay.
So
Okay, so your can is gonna be, use your hive tool like this. Don't jab yourself. And I twist it a little bit because there's bees on it.
Right.
board ready.
Have your board ready. And there'll be a few might be attached to it. So just slide it over like that. Yeah. A few of them attached there. I got my marshmallows right there. Now I'm going to get my queen out. Now the queen's got a lot of bees around her, so
Right.
I'm just going to tap it down.
And you don't spray it with the sugar water?
Not today, too cool. If it was,
Really?
maybe in this afternoon it might be a little bit
me.
warmer. Okay. Now I'm going to look, and this is a nice queen in there.
Okay.
Make sure she's alive. If she's not alive, leave her in the cage, and then bring her back to me, and I'll give you a new one.
Okay.
But you
And
have to
she
make
doesn't have any attendants or anything.
not in them.
That, he just flicked them off.
Oh,
They're
okay.
So,
going
yeah.
You're on
through
the
screen.
outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
The smaller cages
Right.
don't
Okay.
allow for
Now
them.
some of the California
The
or
Georgia ones.
Georgia queen cages, they'll actually put the attendees inside.
But it's a bigger box.
And it's a much better.
Bigger
I
cavity.
might even have one in there. So I want to get a marshmallow.
So
Now
gotta
you
put your
notice she's
own-
always walking back and forth. So you want to,
Wait
when you
till
work
she's at
on
the
that
other
end, make sure she's walking the other way.
Yeah.
So if you watch her, you can
Okay.
see it. She won't accidentally walk out right as you do that.
Okay. If the cork does go inside, not a big deal. She'll make it her way around.
When she starts walking away is when you make your move.
Just gonna stuff that in there. If the marshmallow goes in all the way, no big deal. She'll get around it. Okay. Now,
That's for
make sure there's no attendee bees on the cage.
Mhm.
Put her in your pocket. Keep her warm
Okay.
because you got a little bit of work to do here. So,
So you, okay.
Mhm.
Another thing I saw was like you're supposed to put her in first and pour the bees on top. Okay.
I have seen that. Yeah.
okay. Again,
And I was
another
like,
way.
it helps them.
Might not be the
watching the wrong channel.
Just not the way you do it.
not the way I do it, not the way
Okay.
a number of people do it,
Right.
but I'm sure that
I had
there's-
never seen it before, and I thought,
I'm always very careful about what you put on YouTube.
Okay.
Because for every person that says that's a great, awesome, you have 10 people that say, why are you doing it that way?
Yeah, I know.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
So
that's the problem.
be very careful what you put on there. And you pick and choose what works for you. I
Okay.
mean, you're going to find in 5 years, maybe you like the way taking 4 frames out and setting the whole box down in there.
Right. Yeah, the one I saw was you just have half the frames in there, you shake the bees out, and then you put the box in there. But we're just putting it in front, right?
We're just going to
And
put
you
it
have to
down in
deal
front.
later with
Okay.
pulling the box out after they've
Oh,
waxed
yeah.
it in.
Right.
Because they're going to build it in.
Yeah, they said
They seal
just
everything.
wait.
So I'm going
They'll
to
glue
shake
it
this
together.
box a little bit just to get them down.
Okay.
That's about it. And I'm just going to dump them in.
So what temperature does it need to be to use sugar water?
Has to be above 50 degrees, otherwise they won't take it.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. And you just set this out here. They will get that. One thing I didn't do, typically, if you can,
A lot of them are walking, so let them touch.
all I'm doing is punching bigger holes in this, and I'm going to spray this on the bee frames that I'm putting in there.
Okay.
They've been eating it. This is about half full.
And does it have to be that sugar water, or could it be my sugar water?
It could be your sugar water.
Okay, then that-
We're not going to force anything because the bees are in a pile right now. We're going to just let these frames settle down
Okay.
on their own.
I like what you said on the last install. You said they've been familiar with that
Right.
particular one-to-one
Correct.
water. So why not
And otherwise, what?
keep
throw
them
it out.
acclimated?
Throw it out and buy sugar at the new prices.
If you
Well,
have
there's that.
if you have
That's
foundation
bee poop.
that's already drawn
I got
comb
shit.
on,
Yeah.
Yeah, she got a little on her shirt too.
then you can do what I'm going to do right here, right now.
I probably have some too. I want to check it. You
what?
got bee poop done.
I
So
smell
this queen is going. What I'm going to
doesn't
do is
smell.
I got frames that have foundation on or a comb drawn on them. What you can do if this metal piece breaks off, you can pinch it together with the wood you know, like that. You don't have to necessarily bend it over and onto a frame. Some people will do this. And they'll hold it like that.
But not in the middle, right?
Right, not in the middle. So what I will do, what I like to do
What
is
do you
this.
mean not in, okay.
I'll show you.
He'll tell you in a minute.
Screen. The screen has to be down, and the
Yeah.
marshmallow down too. You don't want this. You don't want it like this.
Right, okay.
So screen down, marshmallow down,
So they have access.
off center, and I have comb. So what I do is I press it right into the frame.
Right.
I don't necessarily need my wire box or my
Okay.
wire on that. Okay. And the reason we put her off center a little bit is when I install my box here, I want my sugar water over the center, and you don't want to drown your queen.
Right.
So I just do this.
Okay.
This has a vacuum, so you see the bubble. So this will not come out. I shake it, it will.
Right.
But then I just set this over the hole. Now, that is an inner cover that I made. The ones you buy from the store
Yeah, they're not tall enough for that.
look
They're at
like
the back a
this,
little more.
Yeah.
okay, and it won't
Right.
cover. So I, like I said, I build this stuff, and then I have that like that. I will take. Not everybody can do this,
Right.
okay, but having extra boxes is always nice.
Right.
Have a swarm or something
Lots of stuff.
in there. It's just that the heat of the bees themselves will keep that going.
Okay.
And we have that on the small. These bees here will make it out on their own,
Okay.
and they will go in through there.
Usually go to the top part, that's why I put it where you can climb out the hole and touch. They'll walk out rather than
Yeah.
fly out. So I put it so the box is somewhat.
Yeah, my
touchable.
stands are a little bit higher.
I don't know.
Um,
They won't touch it. They won't.
I think that's just about covers it.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a bottle feeder?
I have the
Bravo.
mason jars. I'm just gonna use quartz, and I've got the.
I smell
I've
a
got
different
little thing
odor,
like this.
like almost a citrus.
Is it a
Deep,
Boardman feeder
where
earthy
you put that
citrus.
in?
Yeah, they might be a
There's
little
4
bit,
holes
you
in
know,
it.
coming off of the.
I thought maybe, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know enough about it.
Mm.
It was different from the other
The
one.
other ones.
So it's not right over there.
There's a sugar water there. No,
Maybe. I'm not saying I know what it
You have
was.
an
right.
extra height box?
I might have been imagining it, but I don't think so. Super cool, Mike. Thank you so much.
All right.
Man, this is awesome.
I don't need to.
Yeah,
I'm tall.
7 more to do.
I just have. I have an 8 frame. So I don't have a deep, but it works.
Okay.
Okay, well, just so you clear that.